Here we go. We are here at our very first Midnight Madness at Thunder Valley Raceway Park. I'm sure they have maybe done this before. This is our first one. We were here testing last night. We got a couple good test passes in, and they said, hey, we're having a small tire race tomorrow. Really? Really? Tell me more. So it's a chip draw, like 24 cars. It'll be radio prepped, probably mostly radio cars. That's okay. All we brought was our street race rig with some old floppy Hoosiers on it. But we don't mind getting in the ring and mixing it up. We'll see what we got against some radio cars. You know, it's a local deal. Should be a good time. It's chip draw. We kind of like that. They pick the lanes for you, which, whatever. A lot of people do that nowadays. Not that big a deal. We did not make the first test session, but we're going to try and make the second test session. And then right after that, we'll go right into chip draw, cool the cars down, bring them around, glue the track, send them down through there. So we got our first test pass in. That's done. That's out of the way. It wasn't pretty, but we got it in. Pass felt okay. Pass was decent. The staging, not so much. The bump is pretty inconsistent. So I'm working on that. It's a work in progress. I'm just going to keep adjusting those settings and my timing on the bump button. So if you watch the video, what happens is I bring it up on boost. I hit the bump button. It lights the second beam. I'm good. I think I'm good. I put my foot on the brake and I'm okay. I'm ready. And then right when I'm about to let off the brake, I bring my foot up off the foot brake and it rolled back out of the beams. And that was right as the tree was activating. So basically I rolled back out of the beams and it red lit me. I didn't get a time slip, so I don't have any idea. I don't know what it did. I don't know. You know, usually a test pass is a lot. Now on the street, doesn't matter if you get time slip or not. You just need to know that it'll go down, you know. But at the racetrack, there's a lot more to it. You really need to know your reaction time. You need to know 60-foot back split, you know, all the things so you can make the correct decisions through the night. And we didn't get that, but it's their own fault. So I need to work on that. I need to work on my bump, the settings, and then also as a driver, I need to work on my bump timing. If I'm going to bump 3 times, I just need to bump 3 times. If I'm going to bump 2, I need it to be in the beams by 2 and not this him hawing around. But it's a work in progress. It'll get better through the night, hopefully, and not worse. As long as that don't screw me over, I think we got a decent shot. Can't have that happen in eliminations, that's for sure.
You are attracted to Vegas.
Yeah, and that one's got a secret weapon from the other side. That's one of our really good buddies' build that he was building before he passed away. And so I was like, man, that's one of the coolest cars ever.
Nice.
I was excited about that car, but I'm not excited about racing it because Whitson waited his whole life to kick my ass. He might just make it happen right here from the other side.
He's like, here we go.
And I'd be like, hell yeah, go Whitson. All right, well, let's go see what happens. Hopefully we don't catch a red light or something. I also wish we would have went in the left lane like you said last night. Should have listened to you on that deal.
Yeah,
not listening to you on the
You always should have listened to me on that.
We got round 1 out of the way. That's the hardest part usually for us. We got round 1 out of the way. I went 018 on the tree, a little quick, a little too quick. Doesn't leave much room for error, so I need to calm that down just a little bit. You know, you get down towards the end of the night, 018 is fine, but or if you're racing somebody that's a lot faster than you that's what you want. You want something down there, but I don't want to screw this one up just yet. So he went 028 on the tree though, so like he was ready. he was going to give it to me. If I screwed up, he was going to make sure I paid for it. We went 124, 317, 467 at 165 and a half. We picked up 5 mile an hour from last night. RPM on the engine side was way up there. Way up, like, so if you got like a 3-story building, and let's say the attic is 10,000 RPM, we were on a 4-foot ladder on the 3rd story. We were up there. So we got to fix that. We got to do something about it. We can't, I'm not comfortable spinning this motor 10,000 RPM on a regular basis. So we're going to have to fix that. We're going to have to let off early, tank some boost out the back, take timing out of it, whatever we can do to bring the engine RPM down without losing too much ET. That was my first 460 pass on the 28, so that was pretty cool. Track seemed really good. I did have to bump it again. I don't like that. I don't know what's going on with that. Something about the gear ratios and the tire have changed the bump for me, so I'm having to learn that again and change the settings. So same thing though as the test pass, except I got in there. On the test pass it rolled back out, but this time I bumped, and it wasn't in, so I had to bump it again. I don't like doing it. It kind of throws the rhythm off, but and if you're the other guy, it throws you off too, because if you see all 4 lit, you're ready to go, and then it goes off, comes back on. It's just a pain in the ass. I don't like being that guy. Calm the bump down, calm the engine RPM down, but we're in there like swimwear, baby. Now here's another thing. We made that pass at 11:13 p.m. Track said they're shutting this deal off at 2 a.m. So we are first round. We ran first round at 11:13. It's gonna be toit. It's gonna be toit. Might not be my problem though if I go out early. Who knows? Moving on. We are moving on to round 2. We are moving on to round 2. God, I like saying, I could just say that over and over again. Moving on to round 2. And in the chip draw, we drew a blue Fox body. I think the dude's name is Tyler. Really pretty car. We got the right lane this time. Let's roll. Well, there you go. Hey, moving on. We are moving on again. Second round against the blue Fox body. I believe his name is Tyler. Don't quote me on that. I went 0.43 on the tree. He went 0.85 on the tree. So I did manage to calm my reaction time down just enough to where I got some buffer room to go faster and get up on the tree if I need to. It was a good pass. The bump still sucked, but at least this time I was ready for it. You know, I knew that it had been taking 3 all night, so I bump, hit it again, went on in. We did take some power out in high gear, so we took the boost ramp. If the boost ramp was going like this, we took it and did like this to try and bring the RPM down out the back, and we took some timing out the back as well. And then I'm just basically driving the stripe. If I feel like I'm ahead and I feel like he's not coming, I'm going to shut it off early, just to keep the engine RPM down until we can make a change in the converter or gear ratio or something to figure this out. But we went 119. That's the fastest 60 foot at the track we've had on the 28s. Still isn't fast by any means, but you know, 119 with a 9 too. So it kind of is a 119, but it kind of ain't. But it kind of is, but it kind of ain't. You know what I mean? It's getting there. 462 at 160.4. So from the last round we went 467 at 165. This round we tanked the power and we let out a little early, went 462 at 160. That's kind of where we want to be. A little faster than that, just keep bringing the engine RPM down at the back and keep picking it up through the middle, and I think we'll be okay. There's a couple cars here that can run, you know, faster than 50s or 60s, but only time will tell. When we let the starting line on the last pass, it was 11:13 p.m. When we let the starting line on this pass, it was 12:22 p.m. If you do the math on that, it doesn't work out to be 2 a.m. before we're done. So things are going to have to start picking up really quickly. And we're moving on to round 3 against this wicked little BMW. That was the third round against the wicked little BMW. Super nice people. Talked to them for a little while. Really cool car. I'd love to see that car on Pole Road or somewhere. That's a super cool little combo. We were in the left lane. This is the part of the night where things get a little weird at these radio races when they're running you this quick. The time between rounds is getting shorter. So last round we made our pass at 12:22. We made this one at 1:04, 1:05. So we're under an hour now, which means if you take out the time it takes to drive back from the big end, take out, grab your chutes, drive back, cool the car off, get up in the staging, go chip draw, get up in the staging lanes. You're talking, we're at 30, 45 minutes right now of trying to get the car cooled down and making any changes between rounds. Not only is that hard on the drivers in the cars and the crews and your buddies, because we were pitted next to a local guy named Harvey that we know, and we've known him for a really long time, and him and his whole family was chipping in and helping and trying to make sure we can get up there in time. But it's not just hard on the drivers and the crews and the cars, it's also hard on the racetrack because it takes time to prep that racetrack every round for these radio cars. So when you're running them this fast, there's going to be a couple rounds that suffer, and this was one of those rounds. We were in the left lane. I went 050 on the tree, he went 059. We were right there together. The bump worked great, everything was cool, but as I'm sitting in the staging lanes and I'm about to roll up there to do my burnout, all night I had been back in the staging lanes, couldn't see the starting line, but this was one of the times where I was up right behind the water box, less cars, less people, you can get right up there. And I was able to watch the guy in front of me, and man, as soon as he let off the button, he zipped the tires completely sideways. And I was like, ooh, that's not good. So this was one of those rounds where it almost paid off to be on slicks. Most of the time when you're on glue against radio cars, there's nowhere in the racetrack that a slick is going to be faster. But when the rounds get weird and the track doesn't have the time in between to really keep it nice and prepped, that's when the radial stuff is iffy. And he kicked the tires, and if I didn't know any better, I'd say the guy before him probably kicked the tires too. It's hard to say, but he kicked the tires instantly. You're sitting in the car and you got to think, okay, was that him? Was he swinging for it? Or was that the racetrack? I mean, I don't have any way to change it. I'm not going to change it anyway. We're ready to go, but there's enough buffer zone in my tune-up that if the track's a little iffy, I'll be okay. But this is one of those passes where I was like, ooh, probably did good to be on slicks this round. Like I said earlier, I went 050 on the tree. He went 059 right there, side by side. We went 121 to the 60-foot, 313 to 330, 478 at 134. So basically spun. I mean, as soon as I let off the button, it seemed to hook initially, but then it got out there and it spun pretty good. And it was moving around a little bit, but it's a Hoosier slick. It'll bitch and moan, but it'll go, and it'll still be fast. It spun a little bit, but right about time car went in second gear, I'm looking over to see where he's at. I'm judging the stripe. I'm trying to figure out, okay, can I lift early here? Where can I lift? And we lifted, I lifted pretty early on that one. Like I said, I think he went 480 or 490. So now, though, 2 a.m. curfew thing is real weird. If you're a driver, right, in this position, you just ran third round. They've said all night on the intercom, they're shutting the lanes completely down at 2 o'clock. It's over at 2, basically. We just made that pass at 1:05, 1:04 a.m. If you do the math on that, we have to finish the rest of this race before 2 a.m. The math is even fuzzier because if I left the starting line at 1:05 or 1:04 a.m., I still have to, 1:06 a.m. Let's say I left the starting line at 1:06 a.m. because that's what time it says here. 1:06 a.m., I've still got to get out down there, pack the chutes, whatever. I got to drive back to the pit, get it cooled down, make any changes we need to make, check vitals, make sure EGT, make sure there's nothing hanging out of it. I still got to go up and do chip draw, and we got to get in the lanes, and we got to get paired up. And we got to do that 2 more times. So we're starting to see a trend here, and thankfully, we got Harvey and his family, the whole family. Everybody Harvey knows is over there in the pits next to us, and they're helping us get the car turned around and making sure we got plenty of ice and everything. It was really, really cool. It was an awesome time there. So we're moving on to round 4. Josh comes over, says, hey, there's going to be a bye into the final. And I said, okay. I'm looking at the time. It's 1:06 a.m. Final. We got to be in the lanes for the final, in cars, ready to go by 2. But we still got to run semifinal before that. So there's 3 cars left. It's me, Travis Cannon is driving the big block Pro Charged Mustang, and there's another Fox body. I don't remember his name, but anyway, there's 3 of us. Somebody's getting a bye. I told Josh, is it cool if I don't even go to chip draw? I'm going to work on getting my car ready for next round, getting it cooled down. You guys draw the chips. If I get the bye, I'm not going to take it. I'm going to use the time to cool the car down and get my tune-up right, because I felt like I could gain more from the time not making the pass than I would from trying to go up there, make the pass, cool it all back down, blah, 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 and risk missing something, forgetting something, etc., etc. So I told him if I get the bye, if it's cool with everybody else, if they want me to go up there and take the tree, I will. But if it's cool with everybody else, I'll just stay over here, and that way we can get it done. And then we actually will have a chance to get the race done and see the 2 cars go down as a final. Josh said he'd let everybody know, and he'd come tell me. What happened was I didn't get the bye. Man, I was really looking forward to that. I needed to try something in the 60-foot all night, especially race the Pro Charge car or whatever, and I didn't get it. So Travis Cannon got the bye. So he gets a little extra time there, and but he decides he's not going to take it either. He said he wants the time to get the car ready for the next round, so he's not going to take the bye. If you're Travis, in this situation, you're thinking, if they run up there right now and get this done, that means they're going to have 10 minutes to cool their car down before they got to be up there for the final. You're sitting in a pretty good position. So what I was really worried about was it spun last round. So I was thinking the track's going away. It could spin worse this round. So that really takes everything out, because I can't run it out the back because of the RPM that I'm stuck with right now. I can't, I don't have the confidence to really swing for it in the 60-foot. And if the track's greasy through the middle, well, that's everything I got. So basically we'll see. But if he's on a radial, I may have a shot there. Kind of weird. When we showed up, it was like, oof, you guys are on a Hoosier slick, like for street racing? There was a lot of people that came up to me and said, it's glued, right? They're prepping it, right? And I was like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I see what you're saying here. I'm hearing you. Still too stupid to get it. In the semifinals, we have another Fox body. I don't remember the guy's name. Super cool dude. Talked to him for a little while. He's a good guy.
Thanks. You're the bomb.
Huh?
He rolled through, right? So
Yeah, he rolled through. Yeah, it's a good win. Yeah.
Okay, things are getting pretty wild. We're going to the final, as you saw. To explain what happened there, right before we went up to the burnout, we're suited and booted. We're waiting on them to get the tractor and the prep equipment off the track. Jackie checks my parachutes, make sure they're turned on, make sure they're full. I'm opening the CO2 valve, and the needle's not moving. I'm trying to make a video here, baby cat. The needle's not moving on the CO2 bottle, so it's not going to make it through the burnout before it runs out of boost. So I'm like, well, I'm looking. The tractor's still out there. We got a few minutes here. Let's just change it. Thankfully, Brandon Johnston, a.k.a. Youngblood, a.k.a. Monza's son from Street Outlaws. Brandon was there. He's a good hand. He's good help. He's helped us before on the car. Super good dude. Glad to have him around, especially right then, because he's standing next to the car, and he's like, you guys need anything? Let me know. I was like, yeah, we need CO2 bottle. Please help us out. So he ran back to the trailer. He grabbed a fresh CO2 bottle out of my trailer, and he grabbed a crescent wrench. He brought it back over to me. He unhooked my empty one, took it out, hooked the new one up, and literally he was turning the bottle on as Josh was pulling us into the water box, and I was like, man, that's cool. As soon as I saw the CO2 bottle empty and Brandon was going back to get one, I told Josh to make sure I wanted our crew and Josh and everybody and his crew to know. I just wanted his crew and the driver in the other car to know, because we're suited. We're waiting on tractor to get off track. That's it. I wanted them to know, hey, he's running to get a CO2 bottle. We're going to change it out real quick. Not asking for the world here, but just so you know, we may be a little late. If you get up there to do your burnout or something, we may be a little late coming up to do the burnout, but we're going to be up there. We're going to be right behind you or whatever. And thankfully, that wasn't the case. The tractor was still on the track by the time we got the CO2 bottle changed out, so it all worked out perfect. But the dude in the car did say, he said, I won't move till you move. That was pretty cool. Even though we didn't need, even though we got it done before the time, whatever, it was still pretty cool to know that, because I know if I was out there and some street outlaw fake TV dude showed up and was in the burnout box basically and was like, hey, I need to change my CO2 bottle, I'd be like, fuck off. Go back to the trailer. No. But no, it was super cool. We go up there, we do the burnouts. We're getting down to the nut cutting here, boys. So what happened was, I lit the first bulb. I go on the chip. His bulb's lit. I go to start bumping in, and right about the time that I'm bumping and his light comes, or my light, second light comes on, he rolls through. I didn't know at the time. I didn't see what happened, but talking to him afterwards, he said the car was so hot from the quick turnarounds. I mean, all night we're doing 25, 30-minute turnarounds at best. And he said the car was so hot from the quick turnarounds that he didn't have any time to drain the catch can. And he said that because he was going on the brake coming into the second beam, the catch can caught on fire, like literally fire. And so he said he reached up just to shut the car off and it rolled through the beams. Whenever that happened, it brought the yellows on, and of course I took off. He got a disqualification for rolling through the beams. I made the pass. Here's the crappy part. I didn't get a time slip. I don't know, did it slow down a second and I didn't know it, because I've been pulling power out the back all night and I was adding a little bit up front. And so now I don't really have a time slip to gauge the final off of. I still think it was fast. It did move around a little bit. It did spin. So it wasn't just the left lane, because against the BMW or whatever, mine spun pretty good in the left lane, but it spun pretty good in the right lane. So it wasn't just a lane thing. It was, I think it was just more quick turnarounds, blah, blah, blah. I made that pass at 1:38 a.m. We got to be in the lanes before 2 or we are disqualified. If I'm Travis Cannon over here that I'm racing in the final, if I'm him, I'd be in the lanes at 1:45 just to make me nervous. That's not much time by the time I get back to the trailer and get the car turned around. We are going to, basically just clip the top of everything. Just try and get a couple degrees out of the tranny, a couple degrees out of the motor, chunk some ice in this bad boy, check the tires and light the, what is it? Check the tires and light the fires? No, we don't want to fire it, no. Kick the tires, check the tires, I don't know. We're going up there, buddy. We're going to run this final. I figured, man, he's gonna get a half a track on me, and I'm gonna have to outrun him on the other side.
No, good race, man.
Holy crap! That's the most amount of licks I've made in that amount of time in my whole damn life.
Pretty fast,
man, I'm not used to it.
You had 20 minutes before the semis. So like semis to finals, you had 20 minutes. I'm like, man, that deal's got me cooked.
Oh, yeah, it was cooked when we got here. I think. Just sitting in the trailer all day.
Yeah.
Hey, that's cool, man. It's weird that, that's how that works. We just started talking.
I know, right?
Didn't come over and ask to split. I like that.
I'm gonna f*** you up.
I like it. Nothing against guys who go split. I'm just saying, I respect those who don't.
Yeah.
All right, congratulations, sir.
Thanks,
$1,400.
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
You're the grand champion. That was a lot of work.
That was a lot of work.
4.5 hours, 24 cars. That's pretty good.
Nice fucking, hey, nice job. Thanks for having us. Thank you.
Thanks for showing up late, kind of.
What do you mean? I made the first test hit. The second, well, my
Oh,
first.
you made the second.
I made my
You
first.
made it
I made
second.
everybody. Yeah, if we had made the first one, we wouldn't have made the second one. We'd have been late for that one. Thanks for having us, man. Hey, I was in the lanes by 159. Only time I was late all night was on the tree against Travis. All night I was in the tree.
Make you look bad.
Well, hey, I didn't know who was driving it, so I was like, okay, this is where you fuck it up, Chief. Every time, this is right where you fuck it up.
It was your fuck up.
And so, yeah, so I was like, I'm gonna blink before the light, and I'm just gonna blink. And it'd be 013. If I'd have known he was driving and gonna go 013, I'd have.
You would have been like,
When I first got here, it went like 012 again first round, and I was like, ooh, I was like, we better slow this deal down. Piece of crap, 28. Hell yeah, thanks, man.
Welcome back to the real world.
Hey, oh, that feels good, baby. Thank you. I needed that.
thanks, Brandon.
You're welcome. Well, we're gonna take care of Brandon. Brandon knows we take care of Brandon. We're gonna take. Boy, we brought all this shit down here just so we could use it all. Turn that fucking generator off so you can hear me. Hey, if that old truck won't run, just bring it to every race. We'll use everything off of it.
Use all my ice and shit.
Thank you. Come on. Hey, we won something. Look at that.
Hey.
Okay, final round. He drills me on the tree. He flat nailed me to the starting line. I mean, I went 044 on the tree. He went 013. So he was right where he needed to be, boy. That's what I like to see. I think that was the first time all night that anybody had treed me. You know, even though all night I was trying to calm mine down and keep me from red lighting, but especially with the bump acting weird. So, but still yet, if I'd have known he was going to go 13, boy, I'd have tried to give him a 5-finger discount. He went 013, so he did his job as a driver. We went 119 with an O, so we picked up to the 60 foot. Track was definitely better that time. We did add a little power, but no spinning that I know of anyway. Went 301 to the 330, 462 with a 1 at 158, and of course we were off the gas early, but I don't know. I think he went a 470 or 480, so I mean, you know, he was rolling. Just wasn't enough of the old Pontiac power, baby. You know, we're talking muscle, baby. It was pretty cool. Also, after the run, one of the guys let me know that's a big block, and not just a big, because I kept on a big block Pro Charger car, because I call everything by their combo. If you're small block nitrous, small block twin turbo, big block Pro Charge, small block whatever. I was told later it's a big block Ford, not just a run of the mill. It's a Causey, whatever, but still big block Ford. That's pretty cool. So Ford and a Ford, Pontiac and a Pontiac. It was an all traditional final, basically. It was a hell of a good time. You know, I don't know what the margin of victory was there, but being that he got me on the tree a little bit, and then, but I got him at the stripe. It was a good race. It was a fun time. Only went 158. I did have to stay in it a lot longer for him, obviously, but it was a good time. We got it done. We got pushed out of our element, and we made, what is it? Look, I'm looking at my notes here. We made six passes from about 10:30 to 2 o'clock. That's pretty good for me. We got pushed out of our element. I'm glad to know it's good. It's a good thing. It's a good thing to know that when you got a round robin this deal at the end of the night, that we can still do it. You know, we can get the car turned around. We can do it without making mistakes. We can go up there. We can take the tree. We can, Tuner did his job. I did my job. Crew did their job. Thankfully, it wasn't just our normal crew of me and Jackie, or let's be honest, wasn't just our normal crew of just Jackie. Because the driver in this deal is a real prick. As soon as the race is over, he goes in the trailer and sits in the air conditioning. And the tuner, he gives a shit about anything but the laptop. So as soon as the car comes into the pits, he hooks the laptop up and then he goes in the trailer and sits in the air conditioning like a bunch of jerks. So normally it's all Jackie by herself out there. Thankfully, Monza's boy, Brandon Johnston, a.k.a. Youngblood, he was there. He was helping. We had a little oil leak under the intake valley, and he was wiping up oil all night, and he was making sure everything was good. And then, of course, Harvey, he was our pit mate here, so Harvey had pitted next to us. He's another local racer we know. Him and his whole family, basically, chipped in, was helping, was giving us ice. It was a good time, man. It was pretty cool. It really was. I'm glad to know that The car is reliable. It's fast. The driver can still drive. Tuner can still tune, and the crew chief Jackie and her whole crew of Jackie can still get it done. It's a good time, and it was close to home. That's just the way I like it, man. It's pretty cool. I don't know where we're going next or what we're gonna do, but we're just taking it day by day. And this is one of those deals where if I'm gonna get ready to start doing more front side, no prep, or even prep, whatever, I don't care, you know. I just want to do more track stuff, you know. The street stuff, I just always feel like I'm bringing a knife to it, or a gun to a knife fight, or a knife to a, what is it? You know what I mean. I'm bringing a pro mod to a street car race. That's what I feel like on the street. So I feel like no matter what, I'm supposed to win no matter what, you know. So I want to get out there and mix it up with some of these faster, no prep front side guys. That race at Shady Side showed me that there's a bunch of them. It's not just a few guys, there's a bunch of them. So I want to get out there and do some of that. They race for big money. Big events, and it looks like a good time. I want to do more of that. If I'm going to do that, it's good to know that I can enter just about any race and be competitive. So that was a nice test, you know. That tested us, because the only thing we've done lately is street race, you know what I mean? And we won a street race, we win a bunch of rounds, whatever, but it's always something different at the street, you know. It's a different set of challenges you got to deal with. This deal pushed us to be in the lanes, and they were leaving it up to us. You know, they're not going to come over there and bug you all night and say, you got 2 minutes, you got 5 minutes, you got 10 minutes, whatever. No, they just said, you be in the lanes by this time or you're out, you know. So it was a good time. Big thanks to Harvey and his family. Big thanks to Youngblood, Brandon Johnston. Big thanks to Hillbilly and Thunder Valley for, you know, being cool enough to stay open late and let us race. And then, of course, to Josh and Corey and all the guys that put on the small tire deal or the radio deal, whatever you want to call it. I'm calling it. I'm sure, I don't know what they're calling it, but I'm calling it 28s versus 275 or 275 versus 28s, because that's kind of what it was. Big thanks to everybody that did that, and everybody was down there. And we got to meet a bunch of cool fans and stuff. It was, you know, it was an awesome time here in our own backyard. So now we passed that test, and I think it's time we start looking for a bigger front side, no prep type event to go to. And of course, you know, figure out how to go a little faster out the back, change stator, whatever we got to do. But that's for another day. Today, we are just going to rest, because it's going to take a week for that car to cool down. I can't even work on it. We won't even be able to work on it for a week. It's going to take that long to cool down. Pretty awesome. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all your support. Everybody's nice comments, shitty comments, whatever. Thanks for anything. Thanks for anything you got. Thanks a bunch. We'll see you on the next one. Peace out.